Get worse before it gets better.
You think?
Much.
You got any Nicorette? Man, a Nicorette. Which means in about 10 minutes I'm gonna kill someone. You alright, Sam?
My dog is dying.
I'm sorry.
Just got off the phone with the vet. Fucking tumor on the liver. I'm spending like $1,000 a day already just trying to keep it alive. And I have a freaking clue what to do about it.
Well, they're all gone. So,
How many do we have left?
about 33.
Well, I'll make sure they're all out there. I've got to say something.
Yeah, no, they're ready. They're ready for you.
I gotta go. All right, let's hear it.
You're all still here for a reason. 80% of this floor was just sent home forever. We spent the last hour saying our goodbyes. They were good people, and they were good at their jobs, but you were better. Now they're gone. They're not to be thought of again. This is your opportunity. On every floor of this building and in every office from Hong Kong to London, same thing's happening. By the time we're done, 3 of every 7 guys who were standing between you and your boss's job are gone. That is your opportunity. I've been with this place for 34 years, and I can tell you this is not the last time that you're going to go through this. But you are all survivors. And that is how this firm over 107 years has continued to grow stronger. So keep your heads high, get back to work, let's hear it. Thank you all for coming in a little early this morning. I know yesterday was pretty bad, and I wish I could say that today's going to be less so, but that isn't going to be the case. Now, I'm supposed to read this statement to you all here, but why don't you just read it on your own time, and I'll just tell you what the fuck's going on here. I've been here all night, meeting with the executive committee, and the decision has been made to unwind a considerable portion of the firm's holdings in several key asset classes. The crux of it is, in the firm's thinking, the party's over as of this morning. There's going to be considerable turmoil in the markets for the foreseeable future. And they believe it is better that this turmoil begin with us. As a result, the firm has decided to liquidate its majority position of fixed income MBS today. These are your packets. You will see what accounts you're responsible for today. I'm sure it hasn't taken you long to understand the implications of this sale on your relationships with your counterparties and, as a result, on your careers. I have expressed this reality to the executive committee, and they understand. As a result, if you achieve a 93% sale of your assets, you will receive a $1.4 million one-off bonus. If the floor as a whole achieves a 93% sale, you will get an additional $1.3 million apiece. For those of you who've never been through this before, this is what the beginning of a fire sale looks like. I cannot begin to tell you how important the first hour and a half is going to be. I want you to hit every bite you can find. Dealers, brokers, clients, your mother if she's buying. And no swaps. It's outgoing only today. Obviously, this is not going down the way that any of us would have hoped, but the ground is shifting below our feet, and apparently there's no other way out. Guys, this is obviously a very, very unique situation. If we are successful today, we will have been successful in destroying our own jobs. I cannot promise that any of you, all of you, some of you will be repositioned within the firm.
Welcome back to the channel. The reason why I played you those clips was to show you during a crisis, corporations are always going to choose themselves before they choose their employees. As an employee working for a corporation, you're just disposable goods. When you're working for an employer, you have to make yourself almost undisposable, which means kissing ass, sucking up, and going overboard and showing them that you want to work their job. But during downtimes like the economy is right now, if you was last to be hired, you'd be first to be fired. And I believe people are starting to realize that they're just disposable goods. They're peasants when it comes to the ideas of the elites. This past shutdown should have taught you that both political parties will use leverage by preying on citizens' weakness, fears, and insecurities, which was food stamps, Medicare, and Medicaid. Some may have realized nobody's coming to save them, not their government, not their friends, not their family members. You're in this alone. And investing your money is the only way out. Saving your money will only cause more pain, turmoil, and regret in your life. Now let's get into part 2 of my thesis for America's margin call. I want you to imagine a company unable to release its financial reports. No balance sheet, no profit loss statement, nothing. That's basically what just happened to the U.S. economy.
The U.S. government shutdown has now become the longest in history, beating the record 35-day shutdown back in 2019. Congress has let federal funding lapse several times since 1981, forcing a partial shutdown. The majority have spanned just a few days, but only 2, including the current shutdown, have lasted more than a month. Republicans and Democrats haven't been able to agree on passing a bill funding government services since October 1st, when the previous federal budget expired. Senate Democrats have now voted over a dozen times against reopening the government. They insist they need President Donald Trump and Republicans to negotiate with them first on an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies that are set to expire at the end of the year.
Americans are on the brink of a healthcare crisis, unlike any we have seen in our lifetimes. It's tragic. And of course, it didn't have to be, but Republicans are doing nothing.
Republicans say they want to negotiate the health insurance subsidies separately.
Thanks to Democrats, federal workers are lining up at food banks.
All they have to do is vote to open the country. And we only need 5 Democrats. I have a lot of Democrats. We only need 5.
Meanwhile, millions face uncertainty over SNAP food aid benefits. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees have been furloughed or are working without pay, and the nation is set to see a rise in their health insurance bills. The Trump administration has been unwilling to offer substantive concessions and believes the Democrats will bear the brunt of the public's blame.
On October 1st, 2025, the federal government shut down, and for 43 days, many agencies stopped operating, including those responsible for major economic reports. As a result, crucial monthly reports like the inflation CPI and unemployment and jobs reports were either canceled or delayed. For investors, policymakers, and everyday Americans, this data blackout is a big red flag. The central bank and markets use these reports to make decisions about interest rates, investments, and economic planning. Without them, it's like driving blind in a fog. Even as the shutdown ended, some key reports remain uncertain, a lingering shadow over the economy. When data stops flowing, risk hides. Underlying problems, Inflation, employee weakness, supply chain strain may worsen behind the scenes. Without fresh numbers, the public and policymakers lose the ability to respond in time, making mistakes more likely or expensive. In financial terms, this is like having negative equity, but not being able to check the books. For a country already dealing with massive debt, inflation, and economic stress, a blackout in data is not just inconvenient, it's a warning signal. Without transparency and timely information, there's no clear way to measure risk, meaning decisions become more dangerous. In the next episode, we'll show how inflation and raising interest rates are turning risk into real pleasure. Because when the bills start coming due, there may be no margin for error. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.